All right. Hello, my amazing people, my spell slingers, my humdingers, my wonderful people. Welcome on in. I'm your Shadow Vtuber Spells, and we are currently not joined by Milia, but I'm doing an intro first, and then we will be joined by Milia because we're having a fun day. It's gonna be Milia. Milia's gonna be here. Sunny, boop. Sexy firehouse. Wait. Oh, that's Milia's chat. All right. I forgot about that. I forgot that I put Milia's chat up and we're doing like a double feature over here. So Milia's chat is actually currently up in addition to my own on the Twitch side. We're over here on the YouTube side as well, which is, it's just you and me, YouTube. For now. But I just wanted to say hi to everyone. I wanted to say hello, my amazing people. I don't know if I said that because I'm like super excited for this collab. It's gonna be awesome. We're doing something really different today, but I don't care because it's science, and it's not just any science, it's weird science. So I'm super duper excited to that. But welcome on in, everybody. I hope you have a great day today. But otherwise, I also might have forgotten to do the announcement as well. So I'm just gonna go over very quickly while I'm talking to you guys and do just a teensy little bit of an announcement saying to let everyone know that we're doing this stream, because I kind of forgot we're doing that today. It's fine. Well, no, I didn't forget that we were doing that today. I forgot to let everyone know we're doing up that today. No, I lost. I lost. How you doing? Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Let's see. Today's the day. We're joined by Milia. Oh, I forgot to also put I know Milia Loft has no, I have added Milia on threads before. Whatever. I'm sure I've added Milia before. Milia Loft. Apparently, maybe I'm wrong. By Milia Loft. Milia Loft today to check out the weirdest science has to offer. Not me doing my job on stream, not at all. No, don't leave with me. Oh, which got muted till I'm done. Yeah, you know, currently Milia's muted on my end. I'm muted on Milia's end. But I'm just, give me a sec because whoopsie, I totally forgot to tell everyone that I was doing this. So, because I am good at my job. I'm fantastic at my job. I know exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, we're putting this up right now. So shh. Also, is it just me or is the music a little bit loud? I'm gonna turn the music down at just a teensy bit. Cause there we go. All right, post is up on yeah, all right, so the posts are up. I let everyone know we're doing things. I'm good at my job, like I said. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm good at my job. I know I'm terrible at my job anyways, but let me also get y'all the question of the day too. No, I'll do the question of the day later. But how you doing? How are all of y'all going on? Sunny, you rock. Playing blurb sound emoji meme using 100 Twitch show. Oh, sound stuff. I suppose I'm currently at a restaurant with my family. Ooh. Are you celebrating anything in specific, or are you just having? I know for the US we're doing we're doing it. I also forgot to add Milia over here. Not me being terrible, but I know for yeah, it's one of my cousin's second birthday. Oh, nice! Happy birthday to your cousin. I appreciate that. All right, I got everything done that I was supposed to. Proud of myself. All right, I think I did the hot fixes that I needed to hot fix. But otherwise, okay. I think we're ready. Are y'all ready? Also, yes, like I said, happy birthday to your cousin Dino. And oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Vixen plays too. Nice. Everyone, go follow the wonderful, amazing Milia, because Milia is not just collabing with us today, but is also the DM for us during our DM days. So let's get ourselves undeafened over here and join Milia, shall we? And then we'll get into the weird of science. All right. I don't know. Milia. Now I have to wait for Milia to Devin herself. Thank you for the shout out, Milia. Appreciate it. I should be good for next stream. Just came to say hi. Well, I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. I hope you have a good and wonderful dinner with your family. Honestly, it's dinner with the fam is the best way to do it, you know? I like to have dinner with my mom. When we have dinner, we all sit down together and we all eat. But like, we don't go out all that often. So going out to celebrate is definitely a good way to go. We tend to do it on like special days. Although, like I said, there's a holiday coming up for those of us who are in the US. And so rather than going out, we're bringing everyone in on Monday. It's going to be a party.
Healer.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Here it is. Here's the time. Here's the thing.
Yes. Would you like to introduce yourself, Milia?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mikel, trans Vtuber streamer. I put the variety in variety streaming, except for when I don't. And I'd say this is pretty variety for me right now, so I'm hitting the benchmark.
I mean, yeah, no, this is really out there for you, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, I don't do stuff like this very often. The most like reviewy type thing I've ever done was like a couple tier lists maybe, but like this is definitely way outside my normal zone of content, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be. I mean, when we did this just on our own, it was way too much fun, and I was just like, we should stream this. We should stream this and bring everybody else on.
I am hoping that the 2023 Ig Nobel Awards are as wild and out there as the 2024 ones were. I don't think anything so far the wildest one was, I think, the last one we talked about, which was like the bull, or not the bull, the the cow milk production chain or whatever.
That was with the cat on
pure
it.
Insanity.
Oh my gosh.
Pure insanity. I'm praying that the 2023 are just as wild.
Oh yeah. Did you? I take it you told your chat then what the Ig Nobel Awards are?
I gave them a brief rundown, probably a poor explanation, but yes, I did tell them.
If you don't mind, I'd also like to do it because I haven't told my chat what we're doing. Just that we're talking about weird science.
Of course, sure.
So everyone, I'm sure, is aware of the Nobel Prize. Typically the Nobel Peace Prize, but it's given out for more than just peace. You know, they're given out for things like science and history and geography and music. And they are prestigious awards given to the best of the best every year. And that is not what we're looking at today. We are looking at the Ig Nobel Awards. These are given out to the weirdest science has to offer, specifically the science that makes you laugh and then makes you think. And so these are, it's weird. Things are gonna get really weird up in here. And better yet, things are going to get funny, and I'm really excited. And we're actually not starting with an Ig Nobel Award. We're starting with what I think is going to be an Ig Nobel Award, because the 2025 Ig Nobel Awards aren't until they're not until September, so we don't have this year's Ig Nobel Awards. And Milia and I already ruined last year's Ig Nobel Awards, so we're going to be looking at the 2023 ones. But I want to start with what I think is a contender for 2025.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to...
I'm currently just formatting the browser page to fit into my stream for this because
Yeah.
this is gonna be an interesting one.
Oh, it's gonna be a funny one. I cannot wait. I cannot wait because I'm a scientist. I got my bachelor's degree in wildlife science. I have grown up in and around labs my entire life because both my parents have PhDs and all their friends have PhDs. So
Damn, that's a high bar to clear.
Yeah, so I'm very much into the weeds of science, and you are fantastic and hilarious and an absolute shit stirrer. So so we got both sides here. We got the science, we got the hilarious. Let's go.
Somebody who can explain what's actually happening and me to make fun of it.
Yes.
So this is the Royal... Is it Royal Publishing Society or the Royal Society Publishing website?
I think it's the
Royal
Society
Publishing.org.
Yes.
So
yeah.
From this website, title of this: Electrostatic Pollination by Butterflies and Moths.
Yes.
So I'm very excited because this sounds kind of normal, all things considered. This sounds semi-normal.
Oh, it's going to get very not normal very quickly.
Well, by all means, you want to give me the gist of this, or are we just going to kind of read the abstract together here?
I'm going to give you the gist of it. Sure.
Sure.
Because as we found out last time around, science gets very in the weeds and like uses lots of big words for the sake of being as explicit and concise as possible. They want to make sure that everyone knows exactly what they're talking about. And that makes it very hard to read sometimes if you don't know exactly what they're talking about. So trying to get into these things is always a little bit difficult. But basically, I'm sure you're aware of that butterflies are big pollinators, right? They go around, they flap their gorgeous wings, and they land on whatever has a flower and suck the flower's juices, and in return the pollen gets all over them, so they'll go from flower to flower, you know, drinking and eating and bringing pollen from one flower to the next, and that's how pollination works, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Now, you know static electricity, right? You know, where like you get where basically it's like when you rub a balloon on yourself really fast and then your hair sticks up in every direction, or when you're
I did a science fair project about static electricity in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Or I didn't do a good job with.
That's fair. But it's a weird phenomenon. Or how, like, another thing that happens is when you're unboxing, like, something and it's got those, packing peanuts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you go through, and no matter what you do, there's always one sticking to you. It just comes and clings and refuses to go anywhere.
And you, like, take it off and you throw it away and it somehow finds its way back to you.
Yes. Yep. Oh, but Fire Drake Girl gave us a hydrate and a stretch. So let me do that real quick. Ow. And a yeet. Thank you. All right. 1, 2, 3, 2, and 3. No, Fire, you're not new. Fire's just come in and decided to do all the redeems and claim that she's new. Even though I've known Fire since I was in middle school. So not even since I became a teenager. I have known Fire for literal decades, and she's like, I'm new. So no. Anyways, what we're talking about. Electrostatic electricity. Yes. So the whole, like, the packing peanuts just cling to you. That is electrostatic electricity. So that's statics. And the question this guy had, and basically how it works is, it's a positive charge and a negative charge come together, and when and they love each other very, very much. And
all right, we don't need the birds and the bees. We're talking about the butterflies and the moths.
Oh no! I should have turned my redeems off because Fire Drake is just giving me so many more. I have to do this next part in a really bad British accent.
Well, good luck.
Yeah. For the record, I'm really bad at this, and so for the next 2 minutes, I
Just
have
hit
to
the
do this.
full Shakespearean, like,
Yes.
doth moths and butterflies electrostatic.
No, the whole point of this is so that we can make it so that everybody knows what we're talking about. If I go ahead and start going, to whom does the bell toll, with the butterflies and the moths, bringing up to the pollen and bringing it from one to another, alighting as they go. No, nobody's going to understand that. We're trying to bring and make it all sound proper. So
Small
knows.
tangent, but "What you egg" from Hamlet is the best line that Shakespeare ever wrote.
Wait, I'm not familiar with Hamlet.
You're not familiar with Hamlet?
Well, I mean, I know Hamlet. I know it exists. I've just never read it or watched it. I mean, unless does The Lion King count? I watched The Lion King, and that's just Hamlet with furries.
Oh, okay, maybe we need to do a reverse of this stream where you got the science, I'll get the literature one. Because, okay.
I've read Shakespeare, don't get me wrong. I've read Twelfth Night, I read The Crucible, I read Romeo and Juliet, and fracking loved it. It was really funny. But, like, Hamlet's just one of the ones that I haven't seen, alright?
Okay, well, anyway, the tangent is that at some point during the play, Hamlet just, bar for bar, says, "What, you egg?" Like, what, comma, you egg, question mark. That's the whole line.
That's a great insult. I love that. That's a fantastic. The Crucible isn't Shakespeare.
The Crucible is in Shakespeare, actually.
Wait, what is The Crucible then? Because I know I've read it.
Okay, we're getting so sidetracked.
Sidetracked, I know. It's all your fault, Fire, for making me do this stupid accent. That I'm surprised isn't wandering, because normally it wanders all the way to Australian. Alright, I can stop that. Cool. Anyways,
these damn wallabies with the electrostatic pollination butterflies. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Anyways, yeah, no.
Okay, so how does this get weird? That's the point. Like, I can understand the pollination, I can understand butterflies and moths.
Yeah.
How does electrostatic make this so weird?
So the guy was wondering if moths use a very tiny charge to attract pollen to themselves, so that they don't have to just land on it; they can do a flyby, right? Or maybe it's the other way around, or maybe, point is that he wanted to know, do they use is static electricity used in pollination? The problem is there's no device to measure tiny electric charges on moths. You can't just, like, go up to a moth, poke it with a thing and go, oh, yeah, no, that's statically charged, all right. No. So what he had to do was this man, or these two men, had to wonder, because there's two people on here. There's Sam J. England and Daniel Robert. Put butterflies on tiny, adorable little fishing line leashes, took them on walks around the lab, and then dropped them through a hoop to see if they were electrostatically charged.
No, that sounds horrible. The poor moths and butterflies just getting tugged along by this, like, how did they know, like, the strength they had to use to make sure they didn't accidentally, like, rip off their heads? They're not that strong.
It was around their abdomens. It went around their abdomens. They did.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess it's a little better, but God, that's such a horrifying oh my God, that really sounds like a cult, honestly. Could you imagine just like 6 scientists walking in a circle with, like, a hoop in the center, like, dipping their butterflies, like, humana, pollen, humana, electrostatic, humana.
want to join this cult. I need to join this cult. I want to do that. Oh my god, that's fantastic. That's
I don't know if it came up on your TikTok for you, Pete, but like 2 months ago, there was this like small trend of this like song where it's like "Shoobody doo ba ba da ba 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 ba." I don't know if that sounds familiar at all, but it was like it came from this video of a cult, like animation of some kind. I don't know what like the context behind the video was, but anyway, all I can imagine is just that song behind this image of these like 6 scientists dipping their butterflies in moss with this like fishing line string. That is such a vivid image.
I feel like this is where I'm gonna show my age and say I don't watch TikTok except for like 3 creators. I got a TikTok for Casual Geographic, Hell's Bells, and the Panda Red. That's it. Only those 3 creators. Like, it's actually to the point where TikTok thinks I'm a bot.
That's okay.
But yeah, so there's
Rip.
yeah, very much rip. But yeah, so the but yeah, so basically it wasn't that he was necessarily leading them around, but imagine he actually said that he would get undergrads passing by the lab of his window just stopping and staring at him as he took his butterflies and moths on a walk.
I mean, I would too, all things considered. That's just pretty fucking weird, bro. So, I mean, I guess what was the end result then? Were they static? And those...
Most of them, yes. He actually found, so basically as they flew around, they would generate an electrostatic charge. Most of them were positive, some of them were negative, and pollen has a very slight negative charge. And so, yeah, they use
so
it.
It is possible to do drive-by pollen extraction.
Yes, it is very possible to do drive-by pollen extraction.
That sounds hilarious now. All I can imagine is just like, have you ever played, I was gonna say, have you ever played Doom, but I feel like Minecraft's actually a more fitting representation. You know, like the little XP things that, like, you know, mobs drop?
Yeah. I mean, I've also played Doom, but...
Oh, you have played Doom. Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say like armor, when you like shoot enemies and they drop armor and it just like zips into Doom guy. But
yeah.
Same for Minecraft. Any game where like you passively pick up stuff. All I can imagine is just these butterflies and moths flying by these plants and just like.
Yeah, no, they've got a vacuum cleaner in their pants that just collects everything from the ground.
Or for a more vivid image, there's these tiny artillery guns of pollen on the flowers that are like shooting the moths down, just like World War II style, like bomber, like boom, 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 boom.
Oh my god. But yeah, if you actually scroll down though, because we're starting off with the bugs here. If you scroll down, there's some really pretty like photos of some moths.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
right? Moths and butterflies are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. That was the other reason why I wanted to start with this one, is because most science papers look boring. Not this one. This one looks gorgeous. They really sprang for the color here.
I like hate most bugs, but like I know that for the most part moths are harmless, and so like whenever I see a moth, especially like a large one, I'll be like, oh, look at you, you're gorgeous, and then I'll like capture it and release it outside my house because like hey, they're doing good. Stay out of my clothes though.
I like how you said for the most part. I'm curious what you know that would that put that qualifier in.
When the moth is like large enough, I'll like save it, but if it's like, you know, like the really tiny, like gray, like gross ones, I'll just like smush. Because like It's capturing you would be more work than it's worth, in my opinion. And there's 1,000 of you, whereas like this one that has like, because I've seen they're not super common in my area, but you know this black one here.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of those like in my house in New Jersey, or my parents' house in New Jersey, and then I've only seen one since moving to Massachusetts. But whenever I see those, I'm like, you're way too pretty to kill.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So then you don't know the thing, because you said for the most part they're like this, but clearly if your qualifier is, oh no, some of them are really tiny, you don't know the thing.
Are there? I mean, I've never heard of a harmful moth. Do they exist?
They do, not in the United States. They're not particularly all that harmful, but they're the Calyptra thalicetri, also known as the vampire moth.
Oh.
And they are called that because they drink blood. They are blood drinkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mosquito and a moth had a baby, and that's what that is.
Yeah, pretty much. A mosquito and a moth had a baby. Actually, male mosquitoes are pollinators. They're very important pollinators. They don't drink blood. It's only them girlies.
Yes, I've been made aware that the ones that drink blood are the female mosquitoes, and so like if I see a large mosquito, I'll leave it alone unless it's physically on me, and at that point all bars are off. I'll kill you. But like, hey, listen, maintain social distancing. We're chill. The second you start coming at me or are already on me, it's game over. You are dying.
No, I see a mosquito, I'm like, no.
Yeah, women happy.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's one way to put
No,
it.
that's real though. That's so real.
All right, so that was what I wanted to start off with, because I'm pretty sure the man who took butterflies on walks in his lab to see if they attract pollen to themselves deserves an ignoble award.
Okay, hold on. I have to read this paragraph because it's definitely important, because I care about the, like I'm not the best when it comes to caring about insects, but when they're used for science, I want to make sure that. So sourcing and care of animals. All animals were housed in mesh enclosures exposed to climate conditions comparable to their natural environments. All species were obtained as eggs or caterpillars and were fed appropriate food plants ad libitum until pubation. Wow, Jesus. All species that feed as adults were provided with a sugar source in the form of sugar solution in artificial flowers, or hand fed by pipette or pineapple slices.
Ooh.
Huh. I didn't know moths and butterflies were that into pineapples.
Oh yeah. It's a good sugar source. And
species-specific details on their sourcing and care are provided in the electronic supplementary material table 1. All right, cool. I'm glad to hear that the moths and butterflies were treated well, with the exception of maybe having a small string tied around them.
Just very carefully. I feel like you'd have to use tweezers for that.
Yeah, you'd have to. Either that or like some sort of surgical tool, because there's just no way you could do that by hand, especially because they're going to fight you on it.
Yeah,
How do you get a string around the body of a moth? Because like the wings have a very like wide connecting area. So
I think what they did was they gassed them very gently to put them to sleep, tied them up. And then
it would be interesting if they had put pictures of the tied moths in, just to see what that actually looks like. But I don't think they were that. I think they were a little more focused on, okay, we had the string. Let's conduct the experiment before this thing like kills itself or something.
Yeah. I also know that they let their flies and moths fly around for at least 30 seconds, and then they'd either wait for it to land or scare it into shitting itself so that it landed.
Oh my God. What? Wait, hold on. This is so, like, this is gonna be the most mild thing we read today until you said they sent them into shit. What?
Basically what it was is if the butterfly and moth took too long to land, they would play the sound of a bat's echolocation, and that would scare the moths into landing, and then they just
so mean.
and then they just, and when it was hanging on the end of the fishing line, they just drop it through the hoop that they use to measure the electrostatic charge.
Bruh, that's so mean.
I mean, if you think that's mean, you should hear how they got the moths to fly in the first place.
I don't know if I want to know.
Basically, what it was is after them tying them up, and they would just pull on the fishing line until the butterflies and moths were hanging. And surprisingly, instinctually, if something that flies is in the air, it decides to start flying for some strange reason.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's not outside of what I had imagined, so to speak. Like, that makes logical sense. That, like, you know, they were holding them by the string anyway. It makes sense that they were probably I had already imagined that they were tugging them by the string.
Yeah.
But that is just, wow. Unbelievable. What a wild ride all around for that one.
Why do you think I think it's going to be an Ig Nobel award?
I could imagine. Yeah. I feel like it's the cutest thing that could be an Ig Nobel award, especially based off of the 2024 results.
Oh yeah.
With how out of left field they were. Like, if this got nominated, it would definitely be like the heart poll kind of contender of like, oh, vote for this one because it's kind of cute.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the most wholesome of the Ig Nobel awards that we've seen so far.
Seeing here that they actually put a little bit of like research into the regions as well to see if the regions had an effect, and the answer for the most part looks like no.
Nice. Yeah, no, this is some good science. So if you wanna see if you want to read the whole paper for yourself, it is I can actually, do you mind? Oh, I don't know if I can put links in your chat. That's the only thing. Basically, it's
I can, hold on. I can go ahead and put it in my chat myself.
The thing is, it can't be put in my chat unless I do a permit. So, because we have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. just go for it, and we'll see what happens.
all right. Watch me get banned on my own. Yeah, I can give you temporary permission.
It went through.
Okay, yeah. I can also give you.
It went through.
I see it on my end. Yeah, I see it on yours.
Yeah, cool.
If you want to post something, by the way, I have to give like temporary permission, otherwise my bots go no.
No. That's fair. All right, so I think that's so we don't stay on this all stream. I think that's enough discussion. I think it was a good like 20-minute discussion on that.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Mizuki.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the Ig Nobel awards yet. We just got to the one I think will become one.
Potential contender for this upcoming award. So let's get to the 2023 winners. Yes. I have the link up here.
Yes. Also,
on improbable.com.
Yes. So these were, like I said, we've already gone through the 2024 ones on our own, so it wouldn't be like a genuine reaction from the two of us because we were just having fun one day. What you guys doing? We're talking about the Ig Nobel Awards, which are awards given to the weirdest science. I read the first one. I read the title of the first one, and I'm already like, what? Oh my god. Alright, so
eating fossils?
Yeah.
Opening up a new tab so we can fucking read this one. Eating fossils written by Jan Zalazishwish. I probably butchered that name.
Yeah, I mean, eating things is actually surprisingly common when it comes to humans. I mean, the reason why we don't have a whole lot of mummies anymore is because England decided to eat them all. So, like,
I do recall that as part of the, the mummy, the mummy rush.
Yeah.
Whatever it was called. But Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the Chemistry and Geology Prize.
Chemistry and Geology. The actual link to the article is on alas.org, the Paleontological Association website. Mm-hmm. Wow, that was a mouthful of a sentence.
Yes, it was.
Okay. So
this
is not written like a normal paper.
They wrote this rather really nicely. Yeah, no, this is very much like telling a story. Ooh. Oh, is it a meta-analysis? Let me see. For explaining why scientists like to lick rocks. Oh, it's a meta-analysis. Okay. Are you familiar with a meta-analysis? I
am not. So if you could give me a breakdown on that, would be
might not be actually, but I'll tell you what a meta-analysis is anyways. So meta-analysis is where you don't do the science. You go and look at hundreds of papers talking about the same thing and pulling all of their information together into one paper and saying, Yeah. So if a bunch of people look at moths and butterflies and how they fly, you pull all of their papers together, all of their findings, and say, this is the trend across all of them. Okay, but no, this is not a meta-analysis. This is just this guy talking about why scientists lick rocks.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I actually already knew that they did this. In fact, licking, you'd be surprised that there's a lot of licking involved in science and a lot of places you wouldn't expect.
Well, no, I can't make that joke. That's too far. Anyway,
I actually, when I was in school, I had this one class where like every day it was a different discipline. And when we got to the botany, right? Our teacher goes, when in doubt, put it in your mouth.
That is like the number one thing that parenting is supposed to teach you not to do, which is so funny to me. It's so funny that science, like the scientific theory, always goes against like what we're taught as children by our parents. Like, don't go near strange things. Don't put things in your mouth that you don't know are edible. And science is like, ignore all of that. Nothing exists here. We have to do this for science.
Yeah, well, you don't swallow it, but a lot of plants can be identified by their unique taste. So you put it in your mouth and you don't swallow. All right.
Okay, so I mean, eating fossils is a bit of a clickbait title because, no one's actually eating like dinosaur bones and digesting them to see if they have any nutritious value. It's people, it's people licking rocks to see if it like, I'm reading here like wetting the surface allows fossil and mineral textures to stand out more sharply. It brought out some of the handsome how do you read that? Nummulites as a treat. Which is wild. That's a wild thing to say.
Yeah. I will say this because going back to the the thing with botany saying when in doubt put it in your mouth. The very next day we had our mycology professor, which is fungus, and he goes, I know your professor said when in doubt put it in your mouth. Don't do that with fungi. When in doubt, leave it alone. No touchy.
I mean, I feel like that's a given. Anybody with common sense should know never to put fungi in your mouth.
No, well, hey, fungi in my mouth all the time. I really like shiitake. I really like.
Okay. Well, like edible fungi is fine, I suppose, but like if you find a random mushroom in your yard, don't pick it up and be like, like.
Oh, you would be surprised how often that happens.
Oh, good
You would
grief.
be surprised how often. In the U.S. too, like northeastern U.S. has mushrooms called death caps. They are common.
I'm pretty sure we had death caps in my yard growing up.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Hey, Ori. Welcome on in. But yeah, so this is just somebody ate. People are licking fossils to identify them and what they're in. Yeah, that's standard science. Anything is edible once.
This is a very interesting part of the article where they talk about the Explorers Club was promised prehistoric meat on the menu back in 1951, and it was just a lie. It was a straight up lie, but it was really it's really interesting that they bought it for some reason.
I mean,
I guess there's not a whole lot more to this article than just like scientists lick rocks and maybe don't think too much before they ingest items.
Yeah.
So I think like this probably ranks pretty low.
Yeah.
On like the weirdness factor, in my opinion, because like hell, the butterfly one was probably weirder than this is, because I could see any scientist. Hell, I have a scientist friend who doesn't even deal with like paleontology and geology, and he would probably lick rocks. I would not put it past him.
Yeah.
I'd say like, I don't know if do we want to make a ranking system, like a 1 out of 5 ranking, a weirdness ranking?
We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. This is definitely, this is so common that it's not even weird, at least to... I give it
a nice 1.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know this about science already, I'd say it's a nice 1 out of 5. Like, oh, that's weird that scientists do that.
Yeah, I have a question. Are you familiar with the meme, "Can you lick the science?" An abbreviated list?
I am in fact not familiar with this, and I'm excited. Oh wait, actually, I think I might be vaguely familiar. Was there a Tumblr post about this?
Yeah.
It sounds like there was a Tumblr post about this at some point.
It basically is the Tumblr post where it's like, genetics do not unless cheek swabs. Yeah. It's I can send it to you because I actually found the post if you wanna take a look at it real quick.
Hell yeah.
All right, here you go.
Meanwhile, I will close down the eating fossils page.
Yeah. I think it actually is in here. Yeah. So genetics do not unless cheek swabs. Chemistry, no, do not. Unless baking. I'm gonna add my own addendum. Unless baking.
Sean McGuire. Do not unless cheek swabs. No, do not.
Perhaps might be human. See, geology sometimes needed, sometimes dangerous. You know, like again, it's
psychology best not.
Chat, I challenge you to figure out how to lick physics.
Zoology, science licks you. Yeah,
that confirm. As someone with a wildlife biology degree, can confirm the science does in fact lick you.
Anthropology, maybe.
Bad play.
What the fuck is wait, hold on. What is herpetology?
That is herpetology are reptiles and amphibians, many of which are venomous or poisonous. And in fact, you gotta be careful if you have a dog and you live in an area with a whole lot of toads. Dogs can get addicted to toads, so be very careful.
Oh, that's scary. Sociology, yes, if you have time and dedication and the willingness to piss a lot of people off.
Oh, Fire Drink says physics
hallucinate or die.
Yeah, there's no in between. Physics
I know
like a
computer
physicist.
engineering. Yeah, the tingle of electricity on your tongue is how you know it's working. Fun fact: one time I didn't check to make sure that the PC I was working on at my old job was disconnected, and I put my finger directly onto a live board, and my left arm was numb for a whole afternoon.
Dang! All right.
Luckily, it didn't have any permanent nerve damage, but
Yeah.
it's a weird afternoon of just not being able to feel my arm.
Oh, for sure. Let's see.
I've never put my tongue on electric items before, for which I'm very glad I haven't.
Epidemiology. I want to point out that this meme is from like the early 2000s, like or the mid 2000s.
Epidemiology, isn't that like the science of skin or?
No, epidemiology is the science of disease.
Oh God.
This comes from before COVID. This predates COVID.
Linguistics, despite the name, please probably don't. Maybe, but engineering, maybe, but it's spreadsheets and computer science. Nothing else has made the code work, so you might as well. So true.
I know. Oh my God.
I've done that. I've done everything to make a code work before.
Did you talk to a rubber ducky? I need to know.
Okay, so I haven't talked to a rubber ducky, but I did discover that there is what I like to call tech mana. If you have a insufficient amount of tech mana, the tech will not work for you. So you have to find somebody who has a sufficient amount of it, like myself, and then the tech will just start working. I guarantee it. It's happened way too many times. This is a science. It's a science of magic. Does that make sense? No, it is hilariously something that does happen surprisingly often, where just like somebody will like. Somebody's asked my help on tech issues, I will go to them, and the second I touch the device starts working. And they're like, how did you do that? I'm like, I didn't do anything. The device just likes me better.
You know, animals do the same thing where like you go up and you see them and they're like bleeding profusely from every orifice. They're screaming bloody murder. They're limping like crazy. You're like, oh my gods. You freak out. You spend like that hour it takes to chase after them, because as soon as you go to put them in a carrier, they're like, no, I'm gone. And so you have to chase after them. You get clawed and scratched and bit. You get them to the vet, and as soon as they're at the vet, they're like, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong.
Bruh.
And I was like, I swear the cat was bleeding from its nose. And the cat's just like, what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Really funny.
All right, moving on to the literature prize, shall we?
There's a literature prize in the Nobel Awards. Okay, so is it the science of like writing, or is it literally just like the topic of like literature?
I guess we'll find out. So it's called the induction of James James Vu in the laboratory, word alienation and semantic satiation. What?
Yeah. So I mean, good on them for being able to type out the title, because autocorrect 9 times out of 10 would have caught that and been like, you don't need all these.
Yeah. So this is given to a bunch of people.
Suddenly switch into French. No, that's a name. James Vu is a name.
James Vu. It's given for studying the sensations people feel when you repeat a single word many times.
Okay.
I guess that's how it's science.
Okay. So James Vu's alienation task. Hypothesis that deja vu and James Vu are similar experiential memory phenomena. Participants repeatedly copied words until they felt peculiar. Oh, okay. So it's like like we all have that moment where we say a word enough times where it no longer sounds like a word.
Oh.
And they're saying that there's a connection between that and deja vu. Either that or it's the antithesis of.
Okay.
Which is really interesting, actually.
Huh.
It's very much like a social science type of thing of like getting people, or like the science of thought. That's not how words work, but I
mean, we're looking at a paper where words stop having any meaning, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're really this is a paper designed for me, actually.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. But although we replicated known patterns of correlation with deja vu, age, and dissociative experiences, the same pattern was not found for our experimental analog of jamais vu, suggesting some differences between the two phenomena. Okay. Okay, they're also making the claim that people experience deja vu more frequently than jamais vu, which makes sense, because I mean, how often are you required to repeat the same word over and over and over again?
I don't know. Do you have a stutter?
Sometimes, like a very, very minor stutter of like, I don't know if it's really a stutter or more just like a mental block of like, I'm trying to get the sentence out, so I'll just repeat the beginning of the sentence until I actually figure out what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I have a stutter, so like, and it can get, oh my god, now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually getting worse. Help.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's not nearly as bad. I had a someone who I didn't know how to stutter until they came in, and then they were mildly stuttering, and then I was mildly stuttering, and then the longer we talked, the more we set each other off, until just words were not happening, and we were dying of laughter. But yeah, no. So why did I mention this? I'm doing it now. Help.
Rip. Okay, so this, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to read any more of the article because the website that they link us to does require you to either access it through an institution or buy the article, which is boo. I mean, the abstract alone. Oh, there are figures and data that we can look over, I suppose. Yeah. Never mind, that has to be purchased. So we can literally only look at the abstract, which is stupid. But I mean, the abstract alone is very fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I'm not like. I'm not going to say I'm the world's best linguist or even that much of a linguist myself, but I do try to embellish my everyday dialogue a lot, because, you know, talking with like and yeah all the time is a bit boring. And so like to keep myself not to say that people who talk like that are stupid. I'm not at all saying that there's anything wrong talking that way, but me personally, I feel like it helps me engage with conversation more if I use larger words that actually require thought. Right. But it also lead to hilarious moments of me being like, I used a word, I don't think I used that word correctly in this circumstance.
Yeah, I used a word, I don't know what it means. Oh my god.
But there's also this like phenomenon where I will try to squeeze a word in even though I know it doesn't fit, but for some reason my brain's like, squeeze it in, that's the one. Like semantic, but like I don't need to say semantic right now. I feel
like did you ever see The Princess Bride?
I have. I love that movie.
Yeah, where he's just like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah.
Inconceivable. All right.
Does he actually use it correctly every time that he says that?
No, I don't think he uses it correctly once, actually. Oh no! Oh no! I just looked at the title of the next one. No.
All right. Next winner. This is the Mechanical Engineering Prize.
Oh no! This is how the world is gonna end.
Necrobotics, bionic materials as ready to use actuate. Are you trying to make the Terminator?
No, it's worse. It's worse. They made zombie spiders This is how the zombie apocalypse started.
Okay,
The Last of Us got it wrong. It's not fungi, it's dead spiders. Help!
I would like to point out the source that they link it to is advanced.onlinelibrary.wiley.com. I cannot, in good faith, call this a credible source because advancedscience.com. So, necrobotics, biotic materials as ready-to-use actuators, abstract. Designs perfected through evolution have informed bio-inspired animal-like robots that mimic the locomotion of cheetahs and the compliance of jellyfish.
Yeah, that's basically just saying we looked at animals and went, huh, they made the thing. How do I make the thing? Let me just make them look like it. I mean, it's the reason why airplanes are shaped the way they are. It's the reason why honestly cars are shaped the way they are. There are various robots that are soft-bodied robots that we've been making that are inspired by things like sea cucumbers and octopi that are very like soft. And yeah, it basically just, if you want something to do something, make it shaped like an animal.
So the goal was to reanimate dead spiders to do what purpose?
Nothing. This is a terrible idea. You're going to create zombie spiders.
Did this just for nothing?
I don't know, but
Okay, hold on.
I don't know, but like the part of me that's just like, no, I hate spiders. It's just absolutely crawling. My skin is like, oh, no, why did you react?
Gross.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, I have like genuine arachnophobia. The image of spiders couldn't trigger me enough. And
I'm
so
not scrolling.
we discussed this.
There's no image of spider here, but I'm not scrolling.
Yeah, trigger warning. I know I'm a little late because I did kind of scroll past a figure or two already, but trigger warning for anybody else who also has arachnophobia. You will see spiders as I continue to explore this article. If that's something you're uncomfortable with, come back in maybe like 10-15 minutes and we'll probably have moved on to the next article by then.
Yeah. It looks like the purpose was just to see if they could pick things up. Can they use spider legs to pick things up? Why did it have to?
Okay, but why? Why do we need? We have grippers. We have like extended gripper things. That's something that's been around for like 40 years now. Why do you need this?
I mean, the logic probably is without looking. So this is just me spitballing here. I think what the logic is if we can figure out how to do this with a dead spider, we could figure out how to do it with dead other things on a bigger scale. Because you always start small and then get bigger. But the question is, where are they gonna go? Are you gonna get like, are you gonna use rhinoceros rib bones? Like, are you looking to just get somebody's hand who's donated it to science after they've died and just be like, yeah, like.
Oh, they used a spider to pick up another spider. Oh, that's so gross.
Oh.
I'm trying to understand what was the gain here? What did we learn? This isn't weird. This is just gross. Conclusion. In this work, we complement. I don't think they use that word correctly. We complement the concepts of bio-inspired design and biohybrid systems by introducing a new area of research we call necrobotics. The design and fabrication of hard robots often entails intricate and tedious processes. The rise of soft robotics has successfully circumvented. Okay, so basically what they're trying to say is rather than building actual robots, we want to use dead bugs and animals instead because that will be easier. What the fuck?
No! Oh!
This cannot be ethical at all. How did this win an award?
I don't know.
Award these people. Do not award these people at all.
No. Fire says next step is making thing from the Addams family. Also, spiders are adorable, not gross. Yeah. No, but I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Yeah. There's so many ethical things. It's just like, oh no.
Reading that was painful. Just straight up. So
Can
I think
we
we're
go
gonna
back
move
to
on.
walking butterflies on
Can we
Bleach?
go back to the butterflies, please? That one gets a. I mean, I guess technically in weirdness, it would probably be like a nice like 3, like genuinely weird.
Yeah, it gets a 3 out of 10 or 3 out of 5 on the weirdness scale, and a giant no out of Y on the what were you thinking scale.
Going back to the literature prize because I forgot to rank it. We'll get that at 2 because it's like it's a little more interesting than licking rocks, but a little less interesting than probably anything else on this list.
Yeah.
Spiders, I mean, like, it's weird, so I'll give you the 3 just because it is weird, but like it's also just gross. It's so gross because like I don't even like spiders. Kill them all with fire, but don't use their corpses.
No.
It's like that's disrespectful to the spiders, and I don't even like them.
Yeah, not to mention there's just so much wrong. Not to mention like going on a decomposition thing. How would you prevent it from decomposing? And honestly, it's
you
just
have to mummify it, and then the joints would all be atrophied to the point where they would no longer be able to use them as these grippers, which means you'd have to constantly be replacing the spiders.
Which means kill more spiders? Like, no.
You'd be like breeding spiders just to take them out, kill them, and then use their joints? That's so fucked.
Oh my god, no, don't like. Yeah. All right, so moving on to the public health prize.
Please be something good.
So saying
a mountable toilet system for personalized health monitoring via analysis of excreta.
Yeah, so it's for inventing the Stanford toilet, a device that uses a variety of technologies, including urinalysis dipstick test strip, a computer vision system for defection analysis, an anal print sensor paired with an identification camera, and a telecommunications link to monitor and quickly analyze the substance of human excrete.
Okay.
This guy created a deep state toilet
here for this.
On the
improbable.com website. We have 4 links here. So which one should I choose to get the most information? The first one?
I just picked the first one, which is from nature.com. Okay. But this guy created a deep state toilet. He made a deep
state toilet.
Yeah, it monitors you. It monitors you as you go to the bathroom, and it monitors your bathroom.
Is it? What was the gain here?
Probably health, because one of the great indicators of how healthy you are or not actually is looking at your poo.
And once again, we don't actually have access to the article because of the website that they linked, which is not cool. I wonder if maybe the other links have something better. Okay, no, they linked references to their research because the next article is digital biomarkers in human excreta, which is probably information they use to build this system.
Got it. Yeah. So
okay, this one might actually be related. Smart toilets for monitoring COVID-19 surges.
Oh,
passive diagnostics and public health.
Yeah, actually, one of the ways that that the government was using to monitor the pandemic and how it was going, because a lot of people weren't like self-reporting the fact that they got COVID, is you could actually tell how prevalent COVID is in a community based off of by monitoring the waste. So because COVID apparently likes to stick in your poo. One of the ways it hangs in the body is in the poo. So, you know.
Gross.
Yeah, very gross.
Cool. Yeah, interesting.
So they made a toilet to check for that.
They made a toilet to check to see if you have COVID and potentially other illnesses, or at least telltale signs that you have illnesses.
The
which I mean,
ID toilet.
I didn't. That's interesting.
I love it.
It's not that weird. I'd say like this gets another 3 because like it's weird on an initial read, especially to people who don't know science. But like to anybody who's like got or who knows the medical field, this isn't like too crazy in my opinion.
No, and it actually could be like kind of groundbreaking in its own way, where a lot of early signs for some really nasty diseases can actually be detected through.
Yeah, I mean, imagine. I mean, it would be really fucking scary to go to the bathroom one day and then a screen pops up on your toilet being like, "By the way, you have HIV."
Yeah, I know, right? or like you're just taking a dump and then you get an alert on your phone that's been connected to your smart toilet going, you have cancer.
That would be horrifying. That would be actually fucking horrifying to just get an alert on my phone like, yeah, according to the this property within your poop, you have cancer.
Oh,
we don't know where it is. See a doctor. Imagine that. That would just be horrible.
I know. Oh no. And then it has like a printer sheet where you just start hearing it as it prints out your diagnostic analysis to hand to your doctor.
Oh, imagine it was like a paid service too. It was like a subscription or like an insurance based thing where it's like, yeah, this much is covered by your insurance for this diagnosis, and you have a copay of $200 for shitting.
Oh,
because capitalism would. Oh boy, wow. You know what? Just for that specific scenario, I'm gonna bump this up to a 4. I'm gonna give this a nice 4.
No, what about a 3.5? 3.5.
You know what? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. 3.5.
All right.
And definitely weird. Moving on.
Communication prize.
Yes.
For studying mental activities of people who are an expert at speaking backwards. Who here can speak backwards?
Definitely not me.
It is something that can happen. It can happen in school studies. Yeah.
Let's see. Despite its prolific growth, neurolinguistic research on phenomena sequencing has largely neglected the study of individuals with highly developed skills in this domain. To bridge this gap, we report multi-dimensional signature. Multi-dimensional? Hello? What is this? A fucking sci-fi show?
Yes. Congratulations. We're speaking in the fifth dimension.
Someone sending signals into other people's brains and they're reading it backwards because of the dimensional shift. Like, it sounds like something straight out of any sci-fi I've ever read.
They're not talking about that kind of dimensions. It's
I know, I'm just being very funny.
You are. It's great.
Two experts in backward speech, that is the capacity to produce utterances by reversing the order of phonemes, while retaining their identity. Our approach included behavioral assessment. So okay, do we get yes, they have the full article. I want to see what like their conclusion was here. Like, what did they
taken together, our results offer new vistas in the domain of phonemic sequencing will illuminate neuroplastic patterns of the underlying extraordinary language.
Oh, I guess they were just curious about like what could cause the ability to be able to speak backwards, I guess, right? That's what it
looks
seems like.
Increased gray matter. Lots of gray matter, high diffusivity. I don't know what that means. Enhanced functional connectivity. Okay, basically their brain talks. The brain is big, it's very gray, and it talks to itself a lot.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so from a behavioral aspects kind of had no effect on it, where they said like the change between the control group and the backward speakers were minimal, like like barely marginal. Fascinating. So it's just like if you have a certain type of brain, you're able to do it.
I can barely speak the correct direction, much less backwards.
Yeah, same. I could probably never be able to speak backwards because that's just kind of insane.
Yeah. Like, that's so
weird.
weird.
They have like graphs for the brains of like the diagrams of some of the brains. Oh god, that's so interesting.
I love looking at brain diagrams. I actually got an MRI recently where they looked at my brain and they measured the various different sizes of the different like hemispheres and locations.
Yes.
So I see the I see that. Oh
gosh, wow. AFQ. Sorry, I'm reading all the big science words, and like I'm trying not to say all the big science words on my stream because, like, again, this isn't something I do very often. So I'd be reading all this out, and everybody'd be like, "Huh?"
I mean, say the big science words.
Diffusion analysis using AFQ revealed significant differences between both backward speakers and control group in MD, which is really interesting because automatic fiber quantification is like something I'm only loosely familiar with from a biology class I took over half a decade ago now.
Right.
But like, God, that's so it's really fast. This is really a interesting article. I wouldn't even call it weird. I'd almost just say like it's good that they're like doing more research into the brain because
it's
God,
just
do we
awesome.
need to understand the human brain better. So on like a weirdness scale, I give it a 2 because like the weird thing is the fact that there's so many people who are able to just speak backwards more so than the actual the research itself.
Yeah. So it gets a 2 on the weirdness scale and a 10 on the cool factor.
Yeah, definitely. Communication prize. What a fascinating. This was done by some people in Argentina, Spain. I wonder, is it easier to speak backwards in certain languages?
It maybe.
I'm hoping they did a little bit of research. It clearly they didn't do a good job, or not. Sorry, that's not the correct wording there. Clearly they didn't prioritize that information when doing their research.
I mean,
but I would be really interested to see if this group came back and were like, okay, let's actually review our, our information here, because this was Argentina, Spain, Colombia, Chile, China, USA. So that's going to be a lot of Hispanic languages differentiating between the different dialects of Spanish.
Yeah. Chinese, I know I can read upside down and backwards.
And potentially, I don't know all the languages of China. The primary language is Mandarin, but they have a couple others. And then
no, they have a lot
USA,
of others. There's a lot of languages in China.
I mean, anybody can speak any language in the USA, so it kind of depends on which people they gathered for this. But I'm interested to see like what was the language pool, and of the language pool, which group had the easiest. Even if it's only a marginal change, I'm curious. But that's for another paper, I suppose.
A scientific study for you to do.
I just have to start pulling around randomly, like pull people in China can't understand a word they're saying. Hey, is it easier for you to speak backwards?
Yeah. All right. So the medicine prize, which surprisingly didn't go to the toilet.
I mean, it's not. Medicine wasn't developed by the toilet.
True, but
the toilet item wasn't a medicine being produced. I'm assuming medicine is more specific towards actual like drugs or
no, it's
like
just
solutions
anything involving healthcare.
Oh yeah, now I can see it. The quantification and measurement of nasal hairs in a cadaveric population.
Yeah.
Why are we looking at the nose hairs of dead people? Why are we looking at the nose hairs of dead people, guys?
It was to explore whether there is an equal number.
I'm pretty sure I didn't need to do this.
It was to see if dead people have the same number of hairs in one nostril versus the other.
That's so unnecessary. Who cares? What do we gain? Oh. I don't want to see any hair on a dead person. I mean, to be honest, I really don't want to see dead people in general. But like, that's, why? Why would you want to know this?
Well, I mean, you can't really look at them. Oh, it's gonna make me sign it. No, it's not even showing us the abstract.
No, you can't do this to me. That's so sad.
Let's see if I can find it somewhere else.
Oh, that's tragedy. That's a tragedy that we can't read it. But like, just based off of what we have right here, let's say for shits and giggles, if we can't find the article, that the goal here was to see if maybe there's a more like if a side of the body decomposes faster than the other, or if there's like telltale signs of someone dying because of nose hair. Like,
I feel like the reason why they did it in dead people is that those nose hairs go really high up, and no one's gonna who's alive is gonna let you poke up there that high.
Okay. I don't think that's good, but it does. It's a reasonable explanation. It's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, would you want someone to go in and being like, hold still for the next 6 hours while I count each and every hair in your nose?
No, I'd much rather be like, hey, can we get the nose hair out? Because I understand that it's like mostly necessary, but some people have like too much. If I mean, you're probably aware as somebody who knows science that like you could have too much nose hair. I don't have this problem, but sometimes I'm like, I feel like there's too much in there right now. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, very specific to me problem. Moving on. But yeah, I guess like I understand that why they would want to use dead people for it, but oh god, that's so
yeah.
That's so that's a good 4. That's a nice solid 4 because it's just weird. It's just weird that you would do that.
Oh, it's really weird.
Because again, why would you care? Why do you care if one nose has more hair than the other?
I guess it's to see if like, because nose hairs are really helpful when it comes to protecting the body. They're a line of defense for your immune system. So if one side has more hair than the other, that might be helpful when trying to, say, administer medication, or because it could because like anything you stick up your nose to administer, you know, it might be like, okay, no, you want to put it up this nostril versus this one. So it does have some uses, but also I feel like this was just somebody's shower thought where they were just scrubbing one day and going, does one nose have more than the other?
All I can imagine is just them like bursting into whatever lab they work at, disheveled. Half of their lab coat is falling off. Their glasses are like tilted on their face, hair up in a messy bun. Like, guys, I figured it out. Next big research project, we're gonna need about 200 dead bodies.
See, I saw that fire. Yeah, I'm aware. But yeah, so it's just, I mean, the thing though is being like, oh yeah, no, there's a bunch of dead bodies. Sci-Hub has a lot of academic articles for free. Yeah, I didn't see it on Sci-Hub. That's the problem. It has to be published on Sci-Hub for us to look at it. All right. So, nutrition prize for experiments to determine how electrified chopsticks and drinking straws can change the taste of food. So, what were you saying earlier about electrocuting yourself on accident? You want to do it on purpose?
So I'm reading the abstract myself because
it's so tiny.
So they wanted to see how electric currents affect your ability to taste.
Well, if it does,
why?
Well, in theory, if it does change how you taste things, it could be used to help those who are picky eaters get more nutrition. It could also maybe be used to someone like, because a lot of people lost the ability to taste during COVID, so maybe it could restart.
Okay, you know what? I actually like it. I understand the idea. I like the concept. I wish we had the full article.
Yeah, this is just me spitballing. I don't know if that's actually what they decided to do, but
I think you're on to something because I mean, with my own personal experience of being electrocuted, more often than not, it just creates numbness, which would not help with trying to taste something if that was the goal. But I was also exposed to a non-controlled current on a completely different part of the body. So who knows how electric currents on the tongue would affect the way that something is tasted.
According to this one, there is a significant increase in perceived salt. So it made things saltier on an unsalted mashed potato, and it made miso soup more sour.
Interesting.
So it does impact the way you taste. Changing the future of food with electric salt.
The question is, where on the tongue did they press this? Because, like, if you know about the tongue, your receptors for stuff changes depending on where you are on the tongue.
It wasn't on the tongue. It was chopsticks. They used chopsticks.
So the electric current wasn't going directly onto the tongue. It was going through the food in the chopstick onto the tongue.
Yeah.
So they were electrically charging the food before giving it or before having people ingest it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Also a fork. So they made chopsticks and a fork.
But I mean, I guess I'm used to chopsticks being wood, so I'm assuming they used metal chopsticks for this circumstance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah. As we repeated our tests, we found that we could quickly alter the flavor of food using electric stimuli. We thought that rather than limiting ourselves to tongue feedback, researching the changes in food taste itself would be a better way to bring happiness to more people. So we changed direction.
So I'm wondering, did they did they try sweet foods as well? Or did they just do salty and sour?
It looks like it's just salty and sour for now, but it looks like they are trying to change the taste of food so that you can enjoy something that's salty with less salt. Because lots of salt is bad for people, and especially these are Japanese researchers, and Japan uses a lot of salt.
It's not just America, but
no,
I think that because I mean, we as humans have like a fundamental desire for salts, because our bodies are constantly consuming sodium within our own system.
You don't need to add
really
salt, just add electricity.
The problem is this does bring up the hilarious image of those like specific pans that are used for like hibachi grills, like the that are really good for like circular frying of like spinning the dish. So all I can imagine is just a guy taking jumper cables, hooking them up directly to the hibachi dish, and then doing that fucking like
it says heck yeah, I'm all for salt. No, this is getting rid of the salt with your jumper cables. I just have an image of someone with a car battery and those really big jumper cables and just like you know, just like clacking them together, going the electric sparks going everywhere, and someone just like, who's ready for some salt?
And there's been 1,000 jokes of somebody with like a defibrillator, like clear and doing it on a stake, doing that. No, but that's actually, this could be revolutionary for health because, you know, there is a, like, sodium is necessary for our bodies, and like, you know, we developed a desire for it as an evolutionary thing because, you know, and now as a society, now that we have constant access to salt and we've made food saltier than ever because we crave it, we don't understand quite when to stop. And thus we are over ingesting salt, leading to congestive heart failure, blockage within arteries, all that different problems that arise. And so this is a great way to combat that, of like, here, we'll satisfy the desire for the salt without you actually having consumed any of it, thus keeping your sodium levels regulated, which is really great, actually. Solid. I think this is a nice 3. A nice, like, it's pretty weird, but honestly, it's just really cool.
Yeah. So it's that 3 on weirdness, 10 on cool. So the next one is the Education Prize, and I feel this one in my soul, for methodically studying the boredom of teacher and students. Boredom begets boredom, an experiment sampling study on the impact of teacher boredom on student boredom and motivation. So I'm getting the don't be a bored teacher or else you'll make bored students.
Okay.
Which, yeah, you know, I get that. If your teacher doesn't care about what they're teaching, why should your students?
I mean, I'm not gonna call this weird. I feel like this is something anybody who's like looked into or been a part of the education system has been saying for ages, of like the regulations on education currently, while somewhat necessary, are also part of the problem. I mean, there's 1,000 other creators out there who have put way more thought into this than I have, but as somebody who actually did 2 semesters you know, looking into trying to become a teacher myself before dropping out of college, I can say definitively that, like, you're taught that, like, you just have to get the information into them. And it's like, I feel like that's a completely wrong way to approach education, because if you're unhappy with the idea of teaching, the children are going to be unhappy with the idea of learning. And there's cases here and there of like people who like love learning for the sake of learning, no matter where the information is coming from, or people who hate learning because they don't care at all. But like there's a good median group. The majority of kids, when sent to school, are miserable because the environment is miserable. It's cold, it's gray. The teachers are just droning on about information that they've probably said way too many times and don't know how to make interesting anymore.
Or worse, so just don't care.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go on. I interrupted you.
Sorry. It's just like, we develop these stories of our favorite teachers as time goes on, of people who either just haven't been bogged down enough yet by the education system, or by people who have managed to find a way to keep it fresh and interesting and entertaining, bringing new avenues in to teach people about stuff. Like a lot of people will say like their least favorite subject is history, because a lot of history teachers do just kind of drone on semantically about the information, and actually use semantically correctly this time. Then you have that one history teacher who actually really cares about what he's teaching, and everybody always mentions like, oh man, that one history teacher, he actually got me to care about history. And so I think in terms of weirdness, this might be our first 0, because it's not weird at all. It's just true.
Well, so I sometimes science just has to be like, we think this is a thing. We're all pretty sure like this is a thing, but let's just have the numbers to back it up so that if we want the change, we can point out, yes, this is in fact a thing and not just us spitballing here. So that's why these kinds of studies exist, is because it's like, yes, we all know this is a thing, but here's the data to show as well. So you can't just say that I'm lying. But that whole thing reminded me of when I was in middle school, and our science teacher clearly did not care, because our science teacher was I have a very vivid memory of our science teacher talking about plate tectonics and how the theory of continental drift was how scientists explained why the continents have shifted. And in middle school, right, I was just like, that's wrong. I was sitting there in class going, no, you're wrong. That's the old theory. But that's not the thing anymore, right? Continental drift isn't what scientists use. It's plate tectonics. And so after class, I went up to the teacher and I actually looked in our book, and like the very next chapter in our book was going to be on plate tectonics. And so I went up to the teacher and I was like, hey, you said that continental drift is what scientists use, but what about the theory of plate tectonics? And no joke, my science teacher looked at me and said, the theory of what? Never heard of that. And I was like, you're going to be teaching it to us tomorrow. What do you mean you've never heard of it?
Science teachers, I feel like you really do get a hit or miss with them, because either they are really passionate and really know what they're talking about, or you get people who really just have no fucking clue what they're saying. Because I had a science teacher in freshman year of high school. He was teaching us, and we were using really outdated textbooks. It was called physical science, which is essentially it was a mixture of like physics and like a little bit of chemistry. And it just, our school had a lot of outdated stuff, and I could go into that maybe off stream. But this teacher in particular, I asked him on like the second week, I'm like, do you have any sort of degree in this topic, or maybe like a degree in education, anything to, you know, prove that you can actually teach? And I said this to his face because this man was so incredibly incompetent at his job. Here's just, I'll give you 2 quotes from this man, and you can deliberate in your own mind what type of person this was based off of that. Trying to explain how energy worked, he wrote E equals M, and then didn't write the rest of the equation.
No.
And he just said that, like, that's just how it works. And we were like, no, that's not how it works, because there's more to that equation.
It's one of the most famous equations around.
Yep. And then he was trying to explain buoyancy. Why he was trying to explain buoyancy to this day, we still don't remember, but he was trying to explain buoyancy. So then he's like, you are a rubber duck. Hold on. I got the analogy wrong. You are a rubber duck on a raft in the ocean. And I was like, these are 2 things that are already buoyant. What is the point here?
Yeah.
And he never finished that thought. He never finished it. So we have no idea what he was trying to say. And so, with science teachers, it's really hit or miss if they're going to be good teachers or not.
I'm confuzzled. I don't. Huh?
Oh, that man. Again, I'll tell you more about him off stream, but oh boy.
Yeah, I feel like there's a story there I need to learn.
There's a lot of stories from my high school that I could tell, but I'm not going to do them on stream.
Yeah,
but anyway, getting back to this paper though, it's just true. Not that weird. 0 out of 5. So,
all right, going on to the next one.
Psychology prize.
Yeah, for experiments on a city street to see how many passerbys stop to look upward when they see strangers looking upward.
Okay, so it's
I
just.
think I heard about this. I think I heard about this one.
This is just bystander syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah. Looking at the bystander effect.
Reports on the relationship between the size of a stimulus crowd standing on a busy street looking up at a building and the response of a passerby. As the size of the stimulus crowd was increased, a greater proportion of passerbys adopted the behavior of the crowd. 1,424 pedestrians?
Yup.
Holy crap!
They just basically had someone go into a city and just stop and stare and look up, and just gradually everybody around them just stopped and stared and looked up.
What I'd like to know, the proportion for this was the proportion of men to women.
Oh, that would be
because what's interesting is that there's literally like a TikTok trend of this sound going around, where it's a guy sitting on a couch, just like, hey, and another guy walks in, it's like, hey, what are you looking at? He's like, helicopter. Guy sits down next to him, hell yeah. Another guy comes in, what are you guys looking at? Helicopter. Sits down with the other two, hell yeah. And it keeps going until there's like 7 guys looking at this helicopter, and every time another guy joins, they're like, hell yeah. And so I'm wondering if the crowd was majority male or majority female.
Good question.
Because I feel like, this is a personal hypothesis, men are more likely to join in on crowd behavior than women. But that's, again, personal hypothesis. We don't have access to the full article, unfortunately. I doubt that they probably looked that far into it.
Yeah. Fire has a correction. No, the bystander effect is basically saying there's other people there. I don't need to be worried. It's usually during emergencies.
Okay. So I guess this would be the non-emergent version of that, where it's just like, I guess, crowd mentality.
Yeah.
Or like crowd thought. There's a word here. I don't want to call it hive mind, because obviously humans aren't actually a hive mind, but
right.
We have moments where we do kind of slot into that by accident, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's sort of a social thing. It's part of being a social species, in which if you're a social an individual in a social species, you want to know what those around you are doing, because if someone's really high key focused in on something, that thing could be a predator, or could be dangerous, or could be yummy. So you need to know which it is.
This would be mob mentality. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for prior. But yeah, that's really interesting. On a weird standard, I feel like it's 2. It's interesting, but it's not that crazy. This definitely, I feel like these are not as crazy as 2024 so far.
2024 was insane.
I'm kind of getting a little let down by 2023. Guys, come on, someone in 2023 really hit me with something. We only have one more left, actually, the physics prize.
Oh yeah. For measuring the extent to which ocean water mixing is affected by the sexual activity of anchovies.
Yes, this is what I needed. This is weird. I love this. What do you mean that the ocean water's mixing is affected by anchovy sex? Tell me about it.
Intense upper ocean mixing due to large aggregations of spawning fish.
So small-scale turbulent mixing plays a pivotal role in shaping ocean circulation at a broad range of physical and biogeochemical processes. Excuse me, I misread that one. Despite advances in our understanding of geophysics processes responsible for this mixing, the nature and importance of biomixing, the turbulent mixing caused by marine biota,
basically animals,
are still debated. Okay, so what is... no, we don't have access to the full article. No, I need to know what the results were. How could you do this to me?
Well, a good abstract actually goes through the whole paper.
Oh, here we go. At the bottom, our results demonstrate that biologically driven turbulence can be a highly effective mixing agent. So anchovy sex does mix ocean regions very well, apparently.
Yeah, and I guess that means the more into it they get, the bigger the effect. So, and here's the thing, it's not just anchovy sex too, because they don't just go one at a time. No, there's not like 2 that pair off. No, it's an anchovy orgy.
Okay, but what I have to quantify here is like, is this something that happens at like the border of two oceans? Because like, for example, we know that somewhere off the coast of like Chile, or like some other South American country, the Pacific and the Atlantic collide. Now there's been this fake image that's gone around the internet before that shows like a part of an ocean where like two different biomes meet, and everybody's like, oh, it's the Pacific and the Atlantic, and that's not true. So it's not visible for us to see where those two oceans meet. But the question is, is this fish orgy happening on that line to create the mix, or is it like them doing this over maybe in the middle of the Atlantic, pushing the water into the Pacific more, or maybe the vice versa? Like, how does this happen?
I mean,
is the question.
Well, I think I figured it how, because anchovy schools can have anywhere between 10 million to 1 billion fish and can stretch for a mile long.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't know that. So yeah, you could feasibly have it happen in that part where the oceans collide. And because the fact that it's so long, holy shit.
Yeah, that's quite the orgy.
I mean, I'm assuming it's the movement during the reproductive process that's causing the mix of the two ocean waters. And
well,
it's like, are scientists going to that area of the ocean and like scooping up water to see like, oh, is it more Atlantic? Is it more Pacific? Because like, I know that the oceans, again, they don't have that clear identifying line of where they like meet, but we know that they're, for the most part, with the exception of situations like this, they don't mix that much. Because they are two different like biospheres, so to kind of quotations. But
why do you think it'd be the Atlantic and the oceanic? Because as far as I can tell, it's ocean circulation.
Oh, so, okay. So it doesn't sound like it was two separate oceans.
No.
Yeah,
it's how it affects, from the way I read it, it's how it affects the circulation within the ocean. So the natural turbulence can be changed by freaking anchovies just getting it on and getting really frisky with one another. Because there's so many of them.
Because I was fixating on the word mixing, so in my brain I'm like, okay, so two different bodies of water are mixing here. But when they're saying mixing, they mean in like the baking mixing sense of like literally just churning something up.
Yes.
Okay. That's actually funnier now that I think about it, because imagine you hit a freaking turbulent part of the ocean and it's like, those damn anchovies are back at it again. None of
Oh,
that's hilarious.
Because here's the thing though, like there's actually like very careful charts that show where all the turbulence are, that show the various different like streams that the ocean waters take, and then during spawning season, all of that's thrown out the windows because the anchovies just decided to go at it right there.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, this is easily a 5. This is like. This is weird. This is really weird and super interesting. And it could definitely be like, I'm assuming that the purpose of this research was maybe to help, people who are trying to navigate oceans, or maybe just study them in general.
Yeah.
During this time of year, but wow, that's fucking hilarious.
Well, it also goes into it because anchovies are delicious. And I don't know if you've ever been down the canned fish aisle, but there's loads and loads of canned fish. So if you understand how anchovies spawn and how the marine water reacts to their spawning, you can also more sustainably fish the animals. and create better like anchovy farms.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah.
That's just so like so strange. But yeah, a solid 5 out of 5 weirdness. This is still less weird than the cow cat milking article. But definitely a contender for like 20, like against some of the 2024 ones that we read for sure. I'd say this is probably equal to like the spider meth one.
Oh my god, yeah, no.
Damn, that is fascinating. And just really weird. That's like it's interesting. Like the way that I'm quantifying this is like it makes sense how you got to this point, how you chose to like to pursue this research.
Yeah.
It doesn't, however, make it any less weird to say to someone, yeah, I study anchovy orgies to see how they affect the currents of the ocean. Like that's such a weird sentence to say to someone.
That's such
but you
a
could,
fantastic
after
sentence.
Like reading through it, be like, okay, I understand where you came up with this idea. And that's so great. That's fantastic. I love this so much.
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Do you want
What the
to
fuck?
take a peek at the 2022 ones? Mostly because I saw the title of the first 2022 one, and as someone who is painfully single, I'm like, yes.
Painfully single. Oh, after this past week, that's a funny. That's anyway. It's like, okay, yeah, 2022 Nobel winners applied cardiology prize.
I have a feeling like these categories actually just straight up don't exist. They just find funny science and then
they
make
really
the category.
do just make this shit. I mean, some of them repeat, like the medicine prize, the biology prize, the literature prize. Those all, but applied cardiology prize was not in 2023 or 2024, which means they did make this shit up just so that they could include this paper. So physiological synchrony is associated with attraction in a blind date setting. Please tell me we can see the full article.
Yeah. No, I don't like. No,
It does have the conclusion. It does have their findings. So humans are social animals whose well-being is shaped by the ability to attract and connect with another, often through brief interactions. That makes sense. Physical features, choreography and movement, physical reactions, and subtle expressions may promote attraction.
Hell yeah, I'd like
So
to
they
get some
chose
choreography of movements with somebody. I'm not sorry.
I'm wheezing. We measured the physiological dynamics between pairs of participants during real-life dating interactions outside the laboratory. We found that overt signals such as smiles, laughter, eye gaze, or mimicry of those signals were not significantly associated with attraction. Instead, attraction was predicted by synchronicity in heart rate and skin conductance between partners, which are covert, unconscious, and difficult to regulate. Our findings suggest that interacting partners' attraction increases and decreases as their subconscious arousal levels rise and fall in synchronicity. So basically what they're saying is like all these telltale signs we usually use to see if someone is into us doesn't mean shit. It's actually all the physical stuff that's a lot harder to spot, like heart rate and skin conductance, that really matter when it comes to attraction. That's fucking fascinating.
I know. Also, I like how we started with electricity, and we're back to the electricity thing again.
We're back to electricity. But that's I'm somebody who's like, when I'm with partners, I'm super on edge all the time, reading their social cues, because reasons that I'll maybe off stream I could explain that, but like this is such a mind fuck for me, because basically this article is telling me, all that work you do to make sure you're constantly on guard, or like making sure that you understand what your partner's thinking, means nothing.
Well, no, this is initial attraction. This is initial attraction. between
okay.
strangers.
Okay, this is like a first.
Yeah, this is a
time
first
only.
meet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're good. But basically what this is telling me is that when I go to that hospital to get my EEG, I need to steal 2 heart rate monitors from the hospital so that when I start dating again, I can hook myself up and my partner up and determine who I should date based off of that.
All I can imagine is just you guys sitting at this like fancy table in some like fancy ass restaurant. You're ordering food, and then on the side, on like what would normally be the food like tray that some people set up when they have to bring a lot of food, are the 2 EKGs with like it wrapped around your arms, just going boop, 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 and like the entire time yours stays steady while theirs is like. Boop.
I love it. I love it.
That would be hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Dating backed by science.
Dating backed by science. You know, we've quantified it. No need to worry now, guys. We understand how dating works. Thumbs up.
Yes. Oh, Best Meme says my favorite entry was the scientists looking at male genitalia in ancient Greek sculptures. Specifically the fact that one ball was above the other.
Now, as somebody who critically does not like male anatomy, on myself at least, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that they played to accuracy in those statues. I'll give the artists that. They knew what they were looking at when they made those statues. Oh, I'm dead. Anyway,
just one sits above. I love that.
It is true. I mean, this is a bit like a good thing I had the sexual content warning on my stream, but it's true. A lot of male genita, one falls below the other unless under specific conditions, like when it's cold.
Yeah, I will say this. Echidnas have all humans beat when it comes to male genitalia.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was an interesting finding. They realized the heavier ball is the higher one up. Oh, nice. That's interesting.
Really?
Huh,
That's actually fascinating.
That is very fascinating, yeah. But yeah, male echidnas. So there's not a whole lot known about the echidnas because they're very, very unique animals, very shy animals. Knuckles, why? Yes, but echidnas have 4 of them down there. 4 shafts. And the reason why they know this is that one echidna was that was in a zoo was a bit of an exhibitionist. He
Yes, everybody who's been doing NSFW art of Knuckles this whole time has been doing it wrong.
Yes, you've been doing it very wrong.
I'm gonna need all those artists to go back. Take it down. You know, like rule 34, we gotta play to accuracy. Delete all Knuckles art and artists, you know, you got work to do.
Knuckle Sims are lucky, I think.
I think.
Oh my god. Well, there is based off of anatomy, there is some evidence to show that humans and primates, if you go back way, 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 way far enough, used to have 2.
I mean, the belief is that we were evolved from fish, and the majority of marine biology has multiple. So that's not entirely unbelievable. But oh boy, that's an image for sure.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's sort of like a theory because basically, the human body plan is very symmetrical. So you know, one side is mostly the same as the others. But when it comes to organs are a little bit different in that case. There's not really too much symmetry going on with organs. But when you get down there, it goes back to being symmetrical again. And so much so that actually, like, when ejaculating, only one ball will go at a time. Which is why it's... Yeah. Which
You
was
learn something new every day, for sure. I do, however, I want to focus in on something that caught my attention. The 2022 Biology Prize.
Oh?
Short and long-term effects of extreme case of autonomy. Does tail loss and subsequent constipation decrease the locomotor performance of male and female scorpions?
Oh,
That's one hell of a weird title if I've ever heard one.
Okay, yeah. So, scorpion butts are, if a scorpion loses their tail, they also lose their butt and the ability to defecate.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so you can actually kill a scorpion that way. It's a very, very long and painful death. It takes quite a while, but yeah. But this is for studying whether and how constipation affects mating prospects of a scorpion. Can you just... Oh no! Did they remove the tails of scorpions to see if they were ready, and then like let these poor constipated scorpions try to get it on?
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
No!
Which is horrible. Why would you do this? Is the cow thing again, in my opinion. This is equal to the cow thing of like, you did not need to do this. You did not need to do this. There was no need for this research.
For the record,
because you've done this harm scorpion, and don't get me wrong, like scorpions are known to be like kind of not great, but like you didn't need to do this to scorpions.
Also, for the record, because we've mentioned the cow thing several times, but it was never actually on stream when we looked at it. One of the 2024 awards is given to a bunch of people who are like, do stressed cows hold their milk in and make it so that you can't milk them. And one of the ways they decided to stress the cow was to stick a cat on top of the cow and pop a balloon.
There was so much worse, in my opinion, for that cow. There was so much worse. Like they de-nerved the udders, which is like, why would you do that? Why did you? That's such an excruciatingly long process. Mm-hmm. And then you ruined the udders essentially for that cow, which makes it, which of course, like you don't need to do that to make the logical leap that would make it hard to milk them. Why?
Yeah, right.
Why would you do that?
Oh, Bestbean has some comments. There was a guy that has two. I think he did an AMA on Reddit.
What? No, hold on.
He stressed how much it sucked.
What? I have to see this.
Okay. I have a question about the guy who has two. Is it that he has a twin? And because there are rare cases where you will get twins and then the embryos will fuse together, and so you basically become your own twin. Is that how he got two? Or does he have like or is it that the genetic code got really weird and he has a mutation? Death by constipation has to be the worst. Who thought of that method up? So cartoony. I know, right? Yeah, the cow thing is very cartoony, which is why we keep bringing up the cow thing.
I'm looking up now this idea of I'm trying to see if I can find the "Am I the Asshole" post for this guy. Because what?
No, not "Am I the Asshole?" Ask me anything.
Oh, it was Ask Me Anything. That was
Yeah, there's an I if it's an "Am I the Asshole?" Or there's an I and a T. I say that as if I've ever actually been on Reddit, which I haven't, yet somehow I know all these things.
I don't really go on there too often, but when I do, it's horrifying.
I like listening to the people who read Reddit stories.
Anything to... I'm Is it like... Okay. Like trying to...
All right, while you're looking that up, I'm going to go back to the constipated scorpions. So let me know if you find it, but I'll go through the constipated scorpions. In many taxa, individuals voluntarily detach a body part as a form to increase their chances of escaping predation. This defense mechanism, known as autotomy, has several consequences, such as changes in locomotor performance that may affect fitness. Scorpions in the genus Antareus autotomize their tail, which in fact corresponds to the last abdominal segment. After autotomy, individuals lose nearly 25% of their body mass in the last portion of the digestive tract, including the anus, which prevents defecation and leads to constipation. So basically, like I said, when they lose their tails, they also lose their butt, because regeneration does not occur. Here, we experimentally investigated the short and long-term effects of tail loss on the locomotor performance of Anatarius balzani. In short-term experiment, the maximum running speed of males and females did not change after autotomy. Moreover, the relative mass of the lost tail did not affect the change of the maximum running speed of males. It had a negative effect on males, but not females. Autotomized, overfed individuals suffered from severe constipation, but were not slower than the normally fed individuals. In conclusion, tail loss has no immediate effect on locomotor performance of scorpions. Long-term decreases in locomotor performance of the males may impact mate searching. However, because death by constipation takes several months, males had a long time to find and reproduce. Thus, the prolonged period between autotomy and death by constipation is crucial for understanding the evolution of one of the most extreme cases of autotomy by nature. I feel so bad for the constipated scorpions who are like, shit, I can't shit, I need to make babies. Like,
that's horrifying. That's actually fucking horrifying. But I did find the post. So
okay.
I am the guy with two penises. Ask me anything. I am the guy with two penises. Original post here, and the original post was posted on r/whatthefuck. It was literally just an Imager link to, which unfortunately is no longer valid. So, which I mean, I guess actually more fortunately, I don't know if I really wanted to see it, but
yeah.
FAQ, both are 100% functional. When I was born, what I was born with is called diphalia. I did not absorb a twin. It's not a genetic, or it's not genetic or inherited. I am bisexual and in a committed relationship with a man and a woman, but I have permission to stray only with James Franco wherever he is. Smiley face, which is a hilarious thing to say. And then there's a couple things. He was mentioned on Conan O'Brien's show in 2014. He updated a picture, which I'm assuming it says 1.5 inches longer, which I'm assuming he means one of them is larger than the other.
Oh, well, yeah, not surprised there, not surprised. I mean, that typically happens.
The most recent update, which I don't know how long ago this was, but he wrote a book, and it's available on Amazon.
Okay, so if you want to go find out about the guy who has two of them, and basically would make every Zelda fan very happy if he cosplayed as Sidon.
No. Don't remind me. I've seen way too much art of it by accident. By accident, keyword. I wasn't looking that up. Anyway, okay.
I don't know. I just remembered he said that when he peed, it used both, which it just seems inconvenient. Yeah, no, that is inconvenient. Actually, fun fact about urination in mammals. All mammals, no matter their size, pee at exactly the same rate and take exactly the same length to pee. Same amount of time to pee. So, You pee at
Well,
the
that
same
can't
rate
be
as a
right.
mouse.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe the same rate makes sense,
Yeah,
but like the same amount of time as other animals. Because I'm like, I know that I've had times where it's not the same amount of length. To,
Yeah, well, like
to
average.
pee.
Average.
Like,
The average.
okay.
Yeah. Yes, a mouse. Yeah.
Yes, mouse. Oh God, that's weird.
Yep.
That's really weird. Do you have any other 2022 ones you want to take a look at?
Let's see. We looked at the applied cardiology.
Looked at biology. I skipped over
for analyzing
literature because
making
literature looks pretty boring.
Yeah, literature is analyzing what makes legal documents unnecessarily difficult to understand. I'm not interested. For studying whether and how constipation. Okay, so no, that's the scorpions thing. Medicine.
Ice cream used as cryotherapy.
What?
Interesting. As a medicine prize.
Okay.
Ice cream used as cryotherapy during high dose melphalan conditioning reduces oral mucositis after autologous hematopoietic stem cell transplantation. Holy shit.
For showing when
That was
patients
rough to
undergo
read.
Yes, for showing when patients undergo some forms of toxic chemotherapy, they suffer fewer harmful side effects when ice cream replaces one of the traditional components of the procedure. Oh, so that's if you're going into chemotherapy, sometimes you should replace one of the cold bits with ice cream.
Huh.
Okay.
Is it because it's dairy, or is it because the sugar, like, is there a chemical access to here, or is it more like a... Because what are they trying to reduce here? Pain, or are they trying to reduce actual effects?
I'm not sure if they ate the ice cream. That's the thing, because it's saying it's replacing one of the components. So
Yeah,
one
where
of the
is
most
ice cream being applied to?
Yeah, one of the most frequent adverse events of high-dose conditioning chemotherapy with melphalan prior to autologous blah blah blah. It significantly reduces the patient's quality of life. So basically using this high-dose conditioning. Okay, one of the previous strategies for OM is cryotherapy. We retrospectively analyzed whether commercially available ice cream could prevent OM during the infusion. Okay, so instead of sticking you into cryotherapy, when you get this, you should just have ice cream.
Huh. Makes sense to me.
Okay. So,
I'll take ice cream.
yeah, right?
But that's really interesting.
Yeah, it seems to be the temperature thing. So instead of sticking you in a cryotherapy changer, they just give you ice cream. That's pretty awesome.
I mean, yeah. Not all that weird. It's really just kind of pretty sweet.
Yeah, right? Yeah! Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, wait. Art History Prize. This really does range across a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A multidisciplinary approach to ritual anima scenes of ancient Maya pottery. Now, as somebody who did pottery research for ancient Egypt, I have a little bit of knowledge on pottery. So I'm curious as to like what was the goal here? Okay, the ancient Maya took intoxicating enemas in a ritual context. Now, enemas are a bacteria, right?
Wait, is it enemas or enema?
It might be enemas. I might have been pronouncing it incorrectly.
Because enemas go up your butt.
It's ENEMAS. Is that an enema?
I think. Yeah, no, that's an enema where you stick liquid up your butt.
This got way weirder so fast. Because why are you sticking intoxicating liquids up your butt for a ritual? What was the ritual for?
It was a ritual painted on pottery.
It's ritual anal. It's I cannot believe this. They're doing ritual anal. That's incredible.
I love it.
Wait, okay, no, but this I gotta read the rest of this.
They're not even just doing that. They're codifying it on pottery, so that
the occasional display of vomiting actors would provide a plausible reason for why the Maya adopted rectal application. Okay. Oh, okay, so it's alcohol up the ass. That's what they're saying.
I was drinking water when you said
tobacco.
That. Just went out my nose.
Unfortunately, little is still known about the constituents and pharmacological activity of the water lily. It is sometimes speculated that this plant is hallucinogenic, but experimental confirmation is viewed as still awaiting. We unfortunately don't have access to the full article, but that's so that might break the scale. That honestly, as science goes, that might be a 6 on the weirdness scale, because they put together off of pottery that as a ritual practice Mayan people used to put intoxicating agents of certain kinds, tobacco, alcohol, and enemas up the ass rectally, because before they did that, they took it orally and it usually caused people to vomit.
Oh my
And they needed this ritual to occur, so they had to get it in somehow. That is fascinating.
Wow. But pottery humans will never change. Enemas are frequently used for constipation. I knew that. Tobacco as an ingredient they smoked using their butts.
I hope they didn't smoke using their butts.
No, Bestbean, you don't understand. One of the 2024 Ig Nobel Award prizes went to somebody who showed that you can breathe through your butt.
Oh my god, I remember that one. Oh my god.
So if you can breathe through your butt, in theory, you can also legitimately smoke through your butt.
This is the greatest idea we've ever had. This was nothing but a good idea. But holy crap, that out of 2022, that might be the best of 2022, because that's definitely best of 2022. I don't think. Well, you know what? I don't want to say that because I want to see if there's anything else on here that could really break that one.
Oh, Fire says that she's heard of teens giving themselves alcohol enemas, so it's not even an ancient ritual. It's still going.
It's still going, baby. Okay, economics prize, safety engineer, moose crash test dummy.
What?
That's the name of the safety engineering prize, the last prize from 2022. Man, I have to read.
The regular engineering prize is just the most effective way to turn a doorknob.
In certain areas of our planets, there are big wild animals. That's the beginning of the abstract. I think this is now, to be fair, this is translated. Yeah. So it might just be that the Swedish version of this probably did sound a little more scientific to them, but this is translated into English, so take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But one big species is the moose, called elk in certain regions. Scandinavia has a very large moose population, and car-moose collision is a huge problem with many fatal outcomes. In order to reduce the number of injuries caused by passenger cars colliding with moose, a valid and repeatable method to arrange staged incidents is needed. Not desired, needed.
Yep.
A moose dummy was constructed after thorough research work.
Okay.
So they wanted to reduce the amount of moose crashes
by increasing the amount of moose crashes.
No, by making a dummy.
Yes,
which
I
I'm
know.
assuming...
So yeah, I know. They're reducing the amount of moose crashes by increasing the amount of moose crashes using a fake moose.
So the crash test results were very pleasing since the car looked very demolished.
Oh, you know your science has gone wonderfully when you're happy that shit gets destroyed.
What? Wait. So wouldn't the idea be like leaving like moose dummies out so that people spot them more frequently and maybe drive a little more carefully on the assumption that they're around more often?
Well, no, I assume that these are for
they're trying to
test it.
Like they're trying to test this to test cars as well, to see if they can maybe engineer cars better to prevent injury. Okay, that makes more sense. What the fuck?
The dummy is potent is a wonderful start to a sentence.
I still think the other one, the one we like just read, he's probably weirder by far. The art history prize. But that's still, man, 2022 and 2024 were definitely stacked. I think 2023 was probably the letdown year, because that one definitely, we read those, we were like, wow, these are kind of not holding up. But 2022 was the lull year. 2023 was the lull year. 2022, 2024, that's where it was at. Because holy crap, these are hilarious.
Well, I am hoping that for 2025 we have the guy who walked butterflies get an Ig Nobel award. He deserves one. Hoping that he gets. What would that be though? What category would you put that under? Biology? Entomology.
Okay.
Also potentially, he did say he was not an entomologist. He said that he was an electro engineer or something like that. He studied electricity.
So maybe he could go under. Maybe he'd be under.
It could be physics.
Yeah, physics. It could be. What was the other option? Engineering, maybe even.
Yeah.
Or kinetics, because I'm seeing in 2021 they had a kinetics prize. I think kinetics would apply to that. It's interesting that it's not the same awards every year. They make up a new award based on certain research that comes out that year, which is probably the most when did they start this? How old are these awards?
Pretty old. 1991 Ig Nobel Prize winners.
Wow. So this is a 20-year-old? 20 plus, actually, like 24-ish years old?
No. It's 33.
I can't do math.
I was born in 91. It's 33, will be 34 years old this year in September.
How does it feel to be as old as these awards?
I love it. Are you kidding? I absolutely love it.
That is so fascinating. And also, really, a lot of these are kind of gross, but like, if you're not looking at the gross parts, man, are they funny. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. The physics prize was awarded to 2 separate groups in 2022. Awarded jointly to 2 groups. Oh,
nice.
Huh.
Wave riding and wave passing by ducklings in formation swimming. Cute. It could be that the groups worked together on this project. Yeah. Maybe
two separate research groups on different parts of the globe.
Yeah, but both working on for the same on the same study, it looks like.
Wait, actually, I know I keep doing this, but I gotta read this one. The Economics Prize awarded to Italy in 2022. Talent versus luck and the role of randomness in success and failure. Because if you know me, I don't like making decisions, so I tend to leave it up to luck. I've actually had people, I've literally asked people roll a d20 to convince me not to buy something.
Okay. So it's not actually luck based. It's based off of who is the most successful.
Oh, really?
I guess is what these guys are arguing.
The large, oh god, big words. Western culture is rooted in the belief of success is mainly due, if not exclusively, to personal qualities such as talent, intelligence, skills, smartness, effort, willingness, hard work, or risk taking. Sometimes we are willing to admit that there's a certain degree of luck could also play a role in achieving significant success. But as a matter of fact, it is rather common to underestimate the importance of external forces in individual success stories.
So does this mean people can cheat in D&D?
Hold on. As far as we know, this counterintuitive result, although implicitly suggested between the lines in a vast literature, is quantified here for the first time. It sheds new light on the effectiveness of asserting merit on the basis of reaching levels of success and underlines the risk of distributing excessive honors and resources to people who, at the end of the day, could have been simply luckier than others. We also compare several... So, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have access to the full article, but based on the abstract, it kind of seems like they're saying it's a 50-50. Like,
okay.
Hilariously, in the argument of, you know, skill versus luck, it's a coin flip.
That's hilarious.
Which is the most, like, I think that's gotta be the most redundant result you could pull from this research.
No, it really is.
That's hilarious. Wow. Okay.
That's amazing. Oh, I love the Ig Nobel Awards. I think I'm starting to lose energy though. So do you want to?
Yeah, we could totally wrap up. But wow, that was awesome. That was so funny. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah, I love it.
Let me close down this tab. But yeah, that's I think that's gonna be it for everything. Thank you for the idea, Spells, because this was pretty much entirely Spell's idea. After sharing with me the 2024 Ig Nobel Awards that one time we were on a call together. And this is, even though this is a bit shorter than I normally go on terms of streaming, I might actually continue afterwards with a game. I'll do a coin flip.
Yeah.
But at least for now, thank you, Spells, for the idea and joining me and the collab in general. This was so awesome. You were so awesome.
Aw, thank you for joining me as well, and thank you for being like agreeing to my very silly, very out there idea. It's not something that either of us normally do, but it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see 2025 Ig Nobel Awards.
Yes!
September, baby. Mark it in your calendar.
Yeah! Let's go.
Yeah, but for now, farewell. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, have a good day.
Yeah. And I guess we'll hang out the next time we do buying time. So yeah, everyone go follow Amelia.
Yes, and I'm gonna shout you out my chat really quick. Everybody, go ahead, follow Spells. Super awesome creator. They do many things. I'm bad at summarizing these many things. Thank you for the follow, Best Bean. Yeah, but I can't. My brain is so like muddled by what we just read.
Oh yeah, no, it's the Ig Nobel Awards definitely like give your brain quite the workout.
Did my shout out not go through?
It went through on my end. I think.
Hold on, let's see. I mean, the command technically went through, but the actual link that shows up didn't. So
weird.
But you know, you guys can click on their name in chat, or while we're their name is still in the stream title, so you can find them there as well. I could probably give you a shout out once we end this collab as well, because I'm assuming that's probably what's preventing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with that said, I will let you go so you can end your stream and get some rest, do all the fun stuff.
Yeah, and I will let you go as well. Hope you have a good rest of your stream, and I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do stream winner in a raid. So bye, Milia.
Bye, Spells.
All right, here we go. Let's do, I guess we'll do stream winner today. So if you want to be stream winner, it's very simple, it's very easy. All you gotta do is say science in the chat. Anyone who's been chatting last 10 minutes only is automatically entered to be a stream winner. And you don't have to if you don't want to. It's very simple as that. Also, the YouTube and what's it called? YouTube and Twitch have their own stream winners, so you're allowed to enter on both sides. And while I'm waiting for y'all to pick who you want to be a stream winner, I'm going to go ahead. We're gonna go. Let me see. Who do we want to go stream with?
Best Fiend just subscribed. 4 months already, hell yeah.
Thank you for the subscribe. I super appreciate you. Thank you, Best Fiend, for joining in with us. Yes! Oh, Bean, I appreciate you. Yes, let's go. Thank you so much for the 4 months. You are awesome. Not some. It's science. Let's see, there's 12 people. I think we're still sharing some people. So yeah, all right, so there's 6 of us here. Let me go take, who do we want to go say hi to? I have picked Sunny. We're gonna go say hi to Sunny. Science, thank you. Somebody followed the rules. All right, I've got our drum rolls here though, so let's get this going. And there's nobody over on YouTube, so it's just Twitch right now. And the winner is... It's Fire Drake Girl! Yeah! For sticking around, thank you, and being a fantastic mod. I hope you also had like a lot of fun today. We talked a lot of science, a lot of very silly science. Very ridiculous. But you know, that's the fun part of science though, is really getting and doing all the ridiculousness and all the silliness, because everyone's like, oh, science is boring. It's like, no, science isn't boring. Science is awesome and hilarious and ridiculous. And I'm glad that we could celebrate that today with Milia. Let's see. So let me go through. Silly science is the best science. Yes, it is. So before we do the raid, I just want to do not quite housekeeping things, but because of everything that's been going on in the US and we're descending into an autocracy, I highly encourage people to get up and stand up and make your voices known. Please go check out 5 Calls, where it will tell you who the phone numbers for your local representatives, so you could go ahead and call them and make sure that your voices are heard, especially with this recent bill that's been going through that's going to be taking away healthcare from millions and millions of people. If calling's not your thing though, go ahead, and here is Resist Spot, where it will help you write to your local representatives to badger them, and as well as check out the big list of protests, the BLAP, to see where protests are in your local area near you. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go say hi to Sunny. If you're on YouTube, I'm giving you a link of where we're going, and on the Twitch side, we're going to get this raid headed over. Oh, incoming ad break? No ad break. Ad break not allowed. But if you're a subscriber, this is your raid message. If you're a spell slinger, that one's yours. And otherwise, let's see, today is Sunday. That means Wednesday is our next stream. And we'll be getting through more Okami. And I will see y'all then. Oh wait, we need some cool raid music to go. All right, here we go. We got raid music. I will see y'all Wednesday. Until then, this is Spells signing out.
got to try. You've got to try. And when there's a thunder inside,